Welcome to Indian Motorcycle of San Diego, 9240 Clairemont Mesa Boulevard. I'm getting a lot of questions about Scouts. What is the deal with the Scouts? How can I tell the differences between the different types of Scouts? So, what is the Scout 60? What is the Scout? What is the Scout Bobber? How do I know the differences? And how can I identify them out on the road? And I've been looking around YouTube. I can't really find anything. There's no help out there, and I've looked around online. There's, of course, a lot of specifications that you can set side by side and try to figure it out, but it is a little bit confusing. So I want to be able to tell you guys and educate and tell you how to identify what bikes are what. So it's really, really simple. It's a whole lot easier than anyone would think it is. So some of the things I'm going to point out. This, starting with the Scout 60 right here, I'm going to point out what are the telltale signs of the Scout 60 versus the Scout Bobber and the regular Scout. So this being the Scout 60, I can tell it's a regular Scout because it has the longer fender in the back. So that's definitely a telltale sign that's, first of all, we're just dealing with the Scout, not the Scout Bobber. Another telltale sign is that the motor is not polished out, especially in the heads here. The heads will be polished out. Another indication that this is a Scout 60. Again, this is a really great bike, 78 horsepower, and has a ton of power. It'll get you where you need to go. It is by no means less of a motorcycle. Again, it's water-cooled, fuel-injected. Another telltale sign that is a regular Scout, as a Scout 60, is that it doesn't have the shroud that a Bobber will have. So, again, this is just the classic vintage headlight that it has, and also there's a plaque here that the regular Scout has, so that's another indication that it is a Scout 60. We go on to this other motorcycle here, and you can see it also has the extended rear fender. The heads are not polished. Another indication that this is also a Scout 60. It does not have the plate here in front, nor does it have the shroud around the headlight here, the headlight bezel. So another indication that this is the Scout 60, and indeed it is. Let's take a look at the Scout and the Scout Bobber. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening. Again, this is the Scout, and I'm going to tell you the difference between the Scout and the Scout Bobber, which is right here. But this has a few upgrades on here, so I don't want to get lost in that one because there's some very nice upgrades to that bike. So again, this is the Scout, and some other indications that it is a Scout that you can see while you're out and about, and notice the difference between what is a Scout Bobber, and a Scout 60. Again, the regular Scout has a much longer tail fender. They are regular tail lights in the back versus LEDs. And this is the much larger 100 horsepower Scout because it does have the polished heads. And that's another indication. Another indication that it is the Scout, and is that it does have the Scout with the 100 horsepower, is the fact that it has a plate here that says Indian on it. Again, it's the Scout because it has just the regular vintage headlight that it comes with, and again, this one is also water cooled, fuel injected, ABS brakes. An awesome bike to ride around San Diego, and or wherever you are up in the mountains. It is a lot of bike. It is by no means a less powerful motorcycle. Let's move over to the Indian Scout Bobber. Another indication that this is the Bobber, first and foremost, is a short fender. It's been bobbed, so it's been cut off. It has a more aggressive tire, and that'll handle some of the dirt that you have out there. And if you want to go off-roading, and it's more of a flat track style bike. It has the handlebars that are more of a drag style bike. The shroud around the headlight is a telltale sign that this is the Bobber as well. It's a much beefier front tire, 100 horsepower, fuel injection, water cooled, ABS brakes. Another great bike. Those are the differences between all the Scouts that we have available, and we have quite a few of them here at Indian Motorcycle of San Diego, 9240 Clairemont Mesa Boulevard. Again, the polished heads will tell you the difference between if it's 100 horsepower or a 60, and in fact this is a 100 horsepower because it does have the polished out heads, and it is in fact a bobber because the short rear fender tells you that. So hey, thank you guys for watching. Here's another well, let's see what this thing is. Obviously it's polished heads and it is 100 horsepower, and it does have the bob tail, but this has some really cool additions to it, like the new seat. Beautiful seat, and a small bag to carry some of your important items in. Someone's opted in to get some, versus the drag bars, add a taller handlebar to it. Really nice options. I mean, the options go on for days that are available here, so come check us out. Indian Motorcycle of San Diego, 9240 Clairemont Mesa Boulevard, and come see these bobbers and Scouts firsthand. I think you'll have a great time. You'll love our showroom. It is a flagship dealership, and we have a great crew. So come out and see us, 9240 Clairemont Mesa Boulevard, Indian Motorcycle of San Diego. Thank you so much for listening in.